Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure, and there's nothing better than a truckload of Hondas. So let me tell you what I was up to this past weekend. I went to the Carlisle car show. This is the first time I've ever been there. This is known as Spring Carlisle. So I hit it on Wednesday. I only went on one day, and you can see very quickly the big items I got. This is an XR75, and it's a zoom in on the neck there, 1977 vintage. The one behind it is an XR185, and hopefully I can zoom in on the neck. You can see that's 1979 vintage. The same guy had both of them, and I got those two bikes, and you can see they're semi-complete. And this clock that tells me what day it is on top of everything else. I have the gas tank for this guy here, right here. And as a matter of fact, somebody already sealed it. I mean, you can see the seats are there. The 75 actually has the side pieces on it. This one's missing those. You can see this thing needs some motor love. This one has the pegs, that one doesn't. Neither one of them have an exhaust system on them. So $280, and they came with the clock. So that was the most money I spent all weekend. The second amount of money I spent was for this thing. This is a China 125. It says Baja on the side of it. It says 124.9 if you look at the jug. These engines are kind of rare for me to find. Some of you might say, oh, I see a million of those available. This is the first one I've actually been able to lay my hands upon. It looks like it's a copy of the Honda XR, 75, 80, and 100, right? That kind of engine. And that's kind of why I picked it up. It was $50. It obviously came with the carburetor, came with a wire harness and a CDI. It's kickstart, missing the oil plug. It's fairly low mileage. The story I was told on it is an older couple bought the bike and they used it to kind of ride around their horse farm, and it was all good at doing that. And then they sold it to the neighbor kids next door, and within the weekend they broke it. So I don't know. I mean, people tell you stories. Are they true? Are they not? Whatever. So between the bikes and this, I have about $330 out. If this thing bolts right up to the 75 there, the XR75, that'd actually be pretty cool. The XR75, both motors need love and attention. I'm not sure exactly how much love and attention. I know the 185 is not seized, and I know the 185 uses a lot of the parts the Honda ATC 185 200 uses. So if worse comes to worse, I could pull that engine off and actually put an ATC 185 or 200S motor on there. Tom Martin did that, and he actually liked the bike with the recoil starter and that motor on there. So that's something I could do. So that's the big stuff story. You guys know I'm a big fan of the dollar items. So obviously when you see nice hand tooled for $1, you grab them. These are Kobalt. These are Sears. This is a good carburetor guy. Then, like these were $1. You guys could tell me what they're for. I'm not sure. But I saw them and I said to myself, you know, if I don't buy them, I'm going to be thinking to myself, you know, that's what those are for and you should have grabbed them. These are magnets to hold cabinets closed. You know, your typical 12-volt tester light. This is a Williams breaker bar in 3/8. Frequently I find myself in need of that. And I have one that's kind of in the lower garage, so I'd like to get one for the upper garage. There's this 0 to 300 gauge. It's got oil on it, so I assume somebody was using it as oil pressure. This is a gun rack, but I just figured for $1 each they were handy. This is a flashlight with a rechargeable battery in it. You just kind of lean it up against something in those two contacts. It's a stream light. It was $1. Choke cable is what we used to call that. Box of light bulbs, $1. Tail light, one of the all-terrain vehicles perhaps. These lights, somebody painted them black. I think are off of an old Camaro. You guys could tell me. But I bought them basically for the light bulbs. They were $1 each. But I also looked at them and I was thinking if I could cut them off here, they could make flat lights, or I could put them right on the back of something. I want to get into a little more fabrication, and when I saw those lights, I thought to myself, boy, that'd be really great. This stuff here, you know, $1 each. I told you where the clock came from. I saw the money. I had to grab the money for $1. This was, I think it came out to like $3. A lot of times when I buy stuff from these people, I go for the package deal, and this kind of was in a package deal. So I don't know, call it $3, $4, something like that. The meter was $2. They were asking $3. I gave them $2. These were 3 for $5, and it's the kind I like. And the robot was $5. I don't know what. Well, actually, he wasn't. He was more like $2 because he was part of a package deal also. So this is everything I picked up with one day at Carlisle. And you guys could say, wow, this is amazing. You did great. You did great. Unfortunately, we have to add approximately $100 to this. Because if I bill out the gasoline that it took me to drive all the way to Carlisle and back, and I bill out the $12 to get in, and I bill out the $10 for parking, I spent $100 going to the show. And I really can't, I mean, I looked at the cars a little bit. I was there on Wednesday. But I really didn't get, you know, the entertainment value of looking the cars out of it. I really did spend most of the day shopping to get this stuff. So, you know, I gotta, unfortunately, when you add another $100 to it, it was a good deal, but I really don't view it as a steal of a deal. Though I didn't get robbed either. I took a quick look on eBay, and just in parts and pieces, these two bikes are worth easily $250, $300 each. So if I came home with only one of the bikes, you know, and all the other stuff, I might be a little light. But having found both these bikes, it was worthwhile. Just to go through the Carlisle show for anybody who's considering it, the way it works, it starts on Wednesday and it goes through till Sunday. If you buy a multi-day pass, it's like $35 or something like that, or $12 a day to get in. And I mean, they more or less give you Sunday for free, but they're really not giving you much because depending on the weather, a lot of the vendors and all leave on Sunday. Though Sunday, if you're going to get a deal, it's a great day to get a deal. Is it a swap meet mecca? Well, kind of depends on what you're looking for. I went through there and I found these two bikes and they were a good deal. There was also a Honda CT70 that was fixable. Missing a few parts, not a lot. It was mostly there. Anyway, the Honda CT70, they were asking $480 for it. I don't know. I look at a bike like that. If it was $300, I would have had a tough time passing on it. Up at $480, I thought that was a lot of money. Some people are paying more than that. Considering its condition, I don't know. Let's say you have $500 out in it, it's close. It would have, by the time you hang an exhaust system and finish putting it together, you have $1,000. And that's about, you could buy them in really nice shape already running with doing no work for about $1,200. So, there you go. Anyway, I got there on Wednesday at about 10 o'clock in the morning, 9:30, something like that. It was easy to park. I parked at the diner right outside of gate 1, cost $10. It was really easy. It put me in a good location, so I didn't have to walk a million miles. You got to realize Carlisle is big. I think they say it's 120 acres, give or take a foot and a half. They say there are 1,800 vendors there. And the vendors are selling everything. Everything from the aluminum welding rods to, car wax that you never have to wax your car again, to starters for 20 Model Ts, right? I mean, absolutely everything is sold there, including all kinds of restoration services and products, your Pour 15 and your fancy wiper blades. And once again, you got all those characters there. You got a little bit of the China flea market junk, comb, socks, all that kind of, kids' toys, the little school buses, and you have a little bit of that. You have some garage sale stuff or some storage locker stuff or some people who kind of do this for a living stuff, and that's kind of where these bikes came from. These bikes came from a clean out or an estate. The guy says he bought a place and cleaned out the whole place, and these were there. Kind of look like a father-son deal. So a little bit of sadness with that, but better me than the scrap heap, eh? So that was the story on these two. Anyway, so Wednesday, diner, right outside, $10 to park, not too much walking, gate 1, all of that. It was not too crowded inside. I got to tell you, after going in there and hauling myself about and seeing all these guys on electric scooters and golf carts and all that were bigger than me, but not all that much older than me, it's a good reason to say, hey, I better lose me some weight before I end up on one of those scooters, right? If I want to walk this whole place. Wednesday was good because once again, not too crowded. Was able to get around really easy. It ended up raining Thursday, Friday. Could have gone, I hear Friday's a good day if you get there first thing in the morning because more people are set up. You have more choice on what to buy. When I was there Wednesday, call it 10 a.m., it was about half set up. Half of it wasn't set up yet. You could buy anything there. Some guy was trying to sell a wrecked Cessna. Somebody nosed it into something. I mean, the wings were good and all that. He looks like he ran it off the runway perhaps and just, flopped the nose into something by the way the propeller looked. So you could buy anything from a Cessna to all kinds of stuff. Generally speaking, this stuff, if it ran, it went for a lot of money. Golf carts also. Even not running golf carts, the cheapest I saw, around $1,500, $1,200 to $1,500. So that's no great deal. Not running, the cheapest I saw, I think, was still over $5,000. And you know, if it's an electric golf cart and it needs batteries, you're easily going to put another 500 into it, so you might as well buy a running gas one. So, my thoughts on Carlisle, I would go again, but I got to tie it into other things because depending on your yield, or in my case, I have about $100 invested. I drove out there. I was able to, you know, crash someplace without paying for it. You know, you got to eat whether you stay home and eat or go out and eat, so that doesn't make much difference. I would go again, but you know, my other problem is this truck is only so big. If I filled it up completely from Carlisle, you know, then I can't go to the other flea markets and buy anything. So there we are. I do recommend the show once again. If you need that strange little part for your Chevy, for your Ford, for your whatever, you could either find it there or you could find somebody who would tell you where to find it. Because as you're looking for it and you're asking people, people are very quick to volunteer. I don't have it, but you could get it from here. This is where what I would do, and you know, stuff like that. So from a car show point of view, it's really, really good from an informational point of view. So there we are. I want to thank you. Oh, by the way, you know, we'll be going through these and that motor all in due course, but basically it's cool that I managed to find a few good projects to work on. I want to thank everybody for dropping by to watch and comment and subscribe. Please remember, feet down, heads up, and get out there and enjoy each and every day. Bye now.